Hi all, this is Once a Future Gamer, and once again, welcome to my world as we undertake another Pokemon challenge. Last week, we took on Pokemon Red with a single Clefairy, a run that was very smooth indeed. No real problems, it was fun. This week though, I think it's going to be anything but fun as we take on the challenge and ask the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Silver with a single Pichu. About Pichu. 205 base stat total, which is exactly the same as Cascoon, Kakuna, Metapod and Silcoon. That'll give you an idea of just how bad this Pokemon is. Our speed at 60 is about the only thing that's even passable. Our special stats both stand at 35. Our attack is 40, which I guess is meh. Our HP is 20 though, and the physical defense is 15. Yep, this is going to suck. On the plus side though, if we are getting beaten senseless every so often, we don't have to worry too much about accidentally evolving through friendship. We resist flying, steel and electric moves, so that's not too bad. It does cover a few of the notable trainers in the game. We're weak to ground, which isn't good, considering a decent powered magnitude or earthquake will probably wipe us off the face of the earth. Do we get a good move pool though? Not really. We only get 5 moves by level up: Thundershock, Charm, Tail Whip, Thunder Wave and Sweet Kiss. At least we get a stab move, which will help with the first gym. Via TM, we're still pretty limited. Swift, Headbutt, Rollout, Iron Tail, Hidden Power, Mud Slap. These are probably about the best options, and none of them are premier moves. There is Thunder, but that's not a reliable move, thanks to the accuracy. There is Return though, so I guess that could be handy. Predictions then. Gym 1 shouldn't be too bad. If I can handle Cypher okay, we shouldn't have too much of an issue with Gym 2. That is a big if though. After that, I can see every gym leader giving us trouble if I'm honest. Jasmine is going to be horrific with that Steelix. I think if we can get enough of a level advantage, we might be able to beat Lance. We might potentially have a chance versus Blue, but I think Red is unlikely. Not with the move pool that we get. If you do enjoy what you see here, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Just the rules then. In combat, I can only use Pichu. Other Pokemon will be needed for HMs but unable to fight. The only items I can use in battle are Pokeballs and held items. And last of all, no glitches or exploits. I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Pichu so that I can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Totodile because I'm actually a sucker for punishment and I wanted the rival to have Chikorita, which is comfortably the hardest for us to fight. I nicknamed the Pichu Jolt. Anyone got a problem with that? Jolt's stats are pretty much as expected, with only attack and speed in double figures at level 5. I head off to start grinding. I wonder how many times I'll have to say that in this run. It's pretty bad. We can't even knock a Pidgey out in one hit with a super effective move at this point. That bodes well for the flying gym. Mind you, we will get stronger before then. I get to Mr. Pokemon's house, do all that stuff, and then there's the first rival fight shortly afterwards, and it's the reason I did grind up. This fight is a win, even though I used Thunder Wave and crippled his Chikorita's attack with Charm twice to make it an even fight. Thundershock didn't do bad damage. Perhaps the strangest thing in this fight was my controller choosing to disconnect itself halfway through. Weird. It's not too long until we get to Violet City and I go around Sprout Tower for that bit of extra power. With Jolt at level 16, I finally face Faulkner. I might seem a bit over level for this fight, but it is worth remembering that he has Mud Slap on his Pokemon in this game, which isn't strong, but it'll be super effective and it will lower our accuracy. We do one hit Pidgey and then 2 hit Pidgeotto with our Thundershock, giving us the win, despite getting struck with Mud Slap and it doing decent damage to our frail little mouse. I do actually teach Jolt that move, replacing Sweet Kiss. It'll be useful in Union Cave, and it is for those pesky rock and ground types. I also teach Jolt Swift after picking up the TM before hitting Azalea Town. After doing the Team Rocket stuff in the Slowpoke well, we fight through the gym and take on Bugsy. Let's see how this one goes. Bugsy isn't that bad. I mean, Metapod string shots us, but we 2-hit it with Thundershock before Kakuna comes out and we do exactly the same thing, only hit failingly, uses Harden as a counter. The final opponent is Cypher and we paralyse it with Thunder Wave as it lands attacks on us. Paralysis is a waste of time as it begins to land quick attacks and we start to hit Thundershocks. With 1 hit point left, Jolt unleashes a final attack and takes the Cypher out. Phew! Before we can leave town, there's a rival fight, and we have our first loss, thanks to him spamming status conditions. Ghastly puts us to sleep after we land Mud Slap, and then spites all our Mud Slap PP away while Jolt is asleep. I finish it with Thundershock, but Bayleaf is next. I paralyse it, but then it lands Poison Powder, and then Reflect as we begin to hammer it with swift attacks. It pretty quickly takes us out with a combination of Razor Leaf and Poison damage. Time to get stronger then. I try again at level 25. This time, I don't lose any PP to Ghastly. It misses a lick after I hit it with Mud Slap, and I finish it with Thunder Shock. Versus Bayleaf, I paralyse it and then hit 4 Mud Slaps to wreck its accuracy, mainly to time out its Reflect. Jolt does get smacked with 2 Razor Leaf attacks, but we don't come close to fainting, thanks to some great paralysis luck. Zubat is a one hit with Thunder Shock. Going through the forest and into Goldenrod, I think it's safe to say I'm dreading the next gym. Super fun times with Whitney and the horned rollout monster lie ahead. Mind you, I get Thunder Wave on it, get Mud Slapping, and we might survive a few turns before it grinds us into the ground. I'm not too upset if I'm honest. If we do get beat a bunch of times, it'll stop Jolt from being happy enough to evolve for a while. Clefairy is a 2-hit with Swift, but we get unlucky versus Miltank, as even with paralysis and 3 Mud Slaps on it, it doesn't stop the satanic cow from stomping on Jolt until my little Pichu stops breathing. Let's try this again. The second time, Miltank once again proves she is capable of 2-hitting us with Stomp. It takes many attempts. We try it up to and including level 30, but to no avail. This Miltank is a tough nut to crack. I try again at level 33. Clefairy is a 2-hit with Swift, and it doesn't do much with a 2-hit double slap, thankfully. Versus Miltank, I paralyse it with Thunder Wave, Mud Slap it, and then start hammering it with Swift attacks. It stomps on Jolt twice, and we're just about strong enough to survive before it misses an attack and gets fully paralysed, and we take that satanic bovine down. 3 badges in hand, and I can finally move on. In Ecruteak City, I tackle the Burn Tower rival fight just to see how we match up. Badly might be my guess. Somehow, against all odds, this turns out okay, as I get cursed early by Haunter, taking it out with 2 attacks after it lands a move. Magnemite, we do at least 1 hit with Mud Slap, meaning we don't take curse damage. Versus Bayleaf, Jolt gets poisoned, meaning we've got both curse and poison damage afflicting us. We 3-hit it though with Swift, and I breathe a huge sigh of relief as Zubat comes out, and Jolt 1-hits it with Thunder Shock, leaving us very weak, but ultimately victorious. That could have gone badly. At level 37, I make the choice to see how we stack up versus Morty. Not well is the answer. We take out Ghastly despite getting cursed. Haunter puts us to sleep and inflicts Nightshade on us, meaning we also take curse damage while being unable to fight back. We put it down, hit Gengar for a quarter of its health with Mud Slap, and then the curse takes us out. That wasn't good. I'm going to go grind on the road to Olivine. I think maybe I'll clear out the lighthouse. After doing so, I make another try on Morty at level 40. Hey, that rhymed. This actually goes well thanks to some phenomenal luck. Ghastly is a 1-hit with Mud Slap. Haunter survives Mud Slap, but misses Hypnosis, and a second Mud Slap takes it out. Versus Gengar, I Mud Slap away, and eventually it puts Jolt to sleep and lands a brutal Dream Eater. Thankfully though, it misses 2 more attacks, and Jolt wakes up to finish it off before taking the Haunter out with the last 2 Mud Slaps. 4 badges down. I predict the next 2 gyms will be horrible. In fact, I think Jasmine might be the last one I do of the next 3. I ride across the sea to see Amwood from Olivine and figure I might as well see how I do versus Chuck while I'm here. I'm expecting to get battered like a fish, and even as Jolt hits Primate with Swift, I'm expecting it to retaliate violently. Instead, it fails to land Leer, and I knock it out with another Swift. I paralyse Poliwrath with Thunder Wave, and then smash it with a few Mud Slaps, Dynamic Punch going wide. Plus, paralysis means that I can knock it out quickly with Thunder Shock attacks. That was way easier than I thought it would be. Let's leave this city and head back to Olivine. We've got an Ampharos to heal up. Back in Olivine, a sense of masochistic curiosity prompts me to take a run on Jasmine to see how this goes. I can't one-hit the first Magnemite with Mud Slap, and Jolt gets paralysed with Thunder Wave before I take it out with Thunder Shock. The second Magnemite lands Thunderbolt, because it gets that move where we don't, the Lucky Duck, but we one-hit it with Mud Slap. Versus Steelix, it lands 3 Iron Tails in a row, and I call cheat since that move never lands 3 times in a row for me, even after I Mud Slapped it. I'm going to put another level on and try that again because the first Magnemite just about survived the move and we might be able to do it. The second attempt goes the same. If anything, the Magnemite survives with more health when we're a level higher. Damn damage range. Work that one out. We take them down, and though we hit Steelix with a barrage of Mud Slaps, we simply don't deal enough damage. And when she heals it, we run out of PP and go down to Iron Tail. Oh dear, we'll definitely come back here again later then. I go do the Lake of Rage and Team Rocket hideout stuff because I need the levels. It seems as good a place as any to go. I even enter the gym and tackle Price. Versus him, we'll have a similar problem to what we do versus Jasmine, mainly that we can't paralyse his ace with Thunder Wave. Seal goes down to Thunder Shock. Piloswine that comes out next is tougher. I land a Mud Slap and then hammer away at it with a barrage of Swift attacks, dealing good damage with each blow as it misses Blizzard attacks. He heals it, but I can free hit that monster with Swift. Last is Dugong, who goes down to 2 Thunder Shocks. I guess we slog back to Olivine and see if we get any sort of difference versus Jasmine this time. And on the subject of this time, it does go better. We're strong enough to one-hit both Magnemite with a 4 times effective Mud Slap, so that's something, meaning Jolt doesn't get paralysed. Using a combination of Mud Slap and Swift, I lay down the hurt on Steelix. Considering one is super effective and one is resisted, there's not actually that much difference in damage outputs. It hits us more and more as the fight goes on, but thankfully it does miss a lot of Iron Tails as we do eventually knock it out, which is a huge relief. I could see me having to be level 60 in that fight. Let's go do the Team Rocket stuff in Goldenrod. After fighting through the radio tower, there's a rival fight in the Goldenrod Underground. Isn't this basically the sewer level of the game? I know Black and White 2 had a sewer level, but this feels like a sewer level. Anyway, the rival fight goes badly. We don't one-hit Golbat with Thundershock, it survives and lands Confuse Ray. Jolt hits himself and we take it out at the second attempt. Magnemite is a one-hit with Mud Slap. Haunter survives Mud Slap and uses Curse, meaning we're probably screwed, especially as Sneasel uses Quick Attack twice, outspeeding us, even as we 2-hit it with Swift. We do deal decent damage on Meganium, but the Curse damage takes us out. Not good. Not good at all. Need to be stronger, I think. At level 59, I make another try. I'm trying to save up for the Thunder TM as much as I dislike the move, but alas, no Thunderbolt or Thunder Punch. Probably best with those stumpy arms Pichu has. I might have to teach it roll out at some point too. Once again, I go down to Meganium in this fight after getting cursed by Haunter. The problem emerges when it paralyses Jolt with Body Slam, leaving my little rodent on 3 HP. If I hadn't got paralysed, I'd have won there. I might have to get rid of Thunder Wave. See, stronger opponents it will become untenable with how few hits we can tank. I don't think it's wise wasting a turn to paralyse every dangerous opponent, especially considering those that do the most damage to us resist the move. So, I replace it with Rollout. I'll try this strategy. Or, alternatively, I could have Iron Tail as an option. After deliberation, I pick Iron Tail. Most rock types are part ground anyway, and if I'm having one trash accuracy move in Thunder, what's another? It only misses 25% of the time, apparently. I thought it hit 25% of the time, but maybe I'm just down on the move. I make another try on the rival straight away. The problem is Haunter. If we could one-hit it, then that changes the entire fight. This time goes better, as we see the best and worst of Iron Tail. It one-hits Haunter, then the first Iron Tail misses Sneasel, letting it hit us with Feint Attack. All this after Golbat survives a super effective attack from a Pokemon, double its level and confused us. The second Iron Tail takes out Sneasel before 2 more land on Meganium to spark it out. I wish we learned Spark. Anyway, I soon kicked Team Rocket out of Goldenrod, culminating in a fight with the man who would be Archer in the remakes. He's not particularly tough, even if we don't necessarily stack up well versus fire types. It's Swift attacks for the Houndour and Houndoom, plus Iron Tail for the Coffin. With that in mind, we defeat him pretty quickly. Claire then, let's see how we stack up versus her. I think this one could be tricky, even with a 20 plus level advantage. It's Friday at the time of writing, I can't wait until Sunday, then I can go get Return. Swift isn't bad, but Return is better. I discover on the gym trainers we can one-hit a level 37 Dragonair with Iron Tail. If it lands anyway. If it doesn't, we're getting paralysed by Thunder Wave. And it's also worth remembering that we can't really use it to any sort of effect on Kingdra. Would you actually believe this was probably the easiest gym leader of the lot? Even easier than Faulkner. Iron Tail doesn't miss on any of the Dragonair. 1, 2, 3, all go down. And Kingdra, as I start hitting it with Swift, only ever uses Smokescreen on Jolt. Now, if Swift were capable of missing, that would be a problem. But alas for Claire, we have Kingdra down in 5 hits after she heals. Of course, she does kick off the fact we beat her, but we soon conquer Dragon's Den and move on to Kanto. The next major fight is the Victory Road rival battle, and I've taught Jolt Thunder ahead of the Pokemon League after raiding my savings. The first attempt goes badly after we can't one-hit Magneton with Mud Slap and it paralyses us. We're constantly paralysed versus Haunter, and it promptly takes us out with a Curse plus a flurry of Shadow Balls. Not good at all. I need to be a little stronger then, I guess. Mud Slap is still the best move I have for Magneton, and it is as good as it's going to get. I go do a little grinding outside Victory Road. With the amount of ground types inside, it's probably for the best. I love Gen 2 Victory Road. I know it's supposed to be a challenge at the end of the game, but most of them are awful mazes filled with HM stuff. This one is so simple, it's kinda nice. Anyway, The rematch with Rod is pretty smooth for the most part, but I do get lucky in 4 places. Sneasel is one hit with Iron Tail. Magneton survives Mud Slap with more health than it did before, even though I'm at a higher level, but it fails with Thunder Wave. First bit of luck. I take it out at the second attempt. Haunter, I missed the first Iron Tail, but the second bit of luck is that it goes to Mean Luck rather than Curse, and I take it out with Iron Tail at the second attempt. Kadabra is one hit with Swift. Meganium goes down to a crit Iron Tail, bit of luck number 3, before I miss Thunder on Golbat and it goes for Bite. It could have gone for Confuse Ray, so let's call that lucky as I knock it out at the second attempt. Pokemon League time! I doubt I can do it at this level, you know. I might get past 1 or 2 of them, maybe even 3. I can see Karen and Lance being a bridge too far. Our stats aren't good, put it that way, for level 68. Speed is decent, attack is okay-ish. Defence is as it always has been, weak. Our special stats aren't much better. Comments on whether or not I can do this then. Like I said, I doubt it. If we do, we'll need to be extraordinarily lucky. Will is first, and let's see how we do. Not good is the answer, thanks largely to the accuracy of our moves. Thunder misses the first Xatu and it blasts us with Psychic, but we do hit it with the second one. Iron Tail misses Jinx and it hits us with Double Slap before we take it out at the second attempt. Swift and Iron Tail take out Executor, but it hits us hard with Psychic. Slowbro is a one hit with Thunder, and on the subject of Thunder, it misses again versus the second Xatu and it takes us out with Psychic. I think I'm going to replace Mud Slap with Rollout. There's a fair few Pokemon in this Elite Four that aren't only weak to it, but many don't resist Rock either, with the exception of Bruno's team mainly. Thanks to Rollout, the second time goes a lot better, even if I do have to use 2 of them, the first one failing to connect with Jinx. When Slowbro comes out last, Jolt comes crashing to a halt, 5 turns having passed, but he drops Slowbro with a Thunder that thankfully connects. Koga is next, and as he has a few bug types, Rock type Rollout is again going to be handy, and it is, as it turns out to be the only move that I need. Ariados goes down to Rollout despite a double team. Fortress does manage to stop it with Protect, but we cycle up again and very quickly tear through it, and Venomoth, and Muck, and Crobat with the move. That could have been so much worse. Bruno could be tricky, but I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. Iron Tail and Thunder attacks are on the menu here, so let's see what happens. Hitmontop survives Iron Tail and hits us with Dig, but we take it out with Swift. Onix is a one hit with Iron Tail. Hitmonlee is a one hit with Thunder. Hitmonchan avoids Thunder though, and although we take it out with a second one, plus a Swift attack for good measure, it lands 3 Mach Punches before we hit Machamp for big damage with Thunder, where it survives and lays Jolt out with a Cross Chop. That wasn't good. Perhaps I need to be stronger, so I guess it's off to grind I go. Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. I fight back to Bruno, this time at level 73. Second time, thanks to Thunder missing twice on Hitmontop, we get smashed 3 times by Dig before we take it out with Swift. We go down again to Hitmonchan and its Mach Punch attack. More grinding then, at least until I can get return. That might be the turning point. Much more powerful than Swift, much more accurate than Iron Tail or Thunder, so it's probably a better neutral option all around. Try 3 comes at level 78. Third attempt fails versus Machamp after I one hit everything else with Iron Tail. I land the blow on Machamp and it hits Cross Chop before he heals it. I go for Thunder and it misses, naturally, and though the second one hits, it survives on red health and then takes Jolt down with a second Cross Chop. I'm getting closer though. Now it's Sunday IRL, let's go get this TM. I replace Swift with Return and then head back through the Elite Four once again. I'm level 80 for the 4th attempt versus Bruno. This time goes so much better as Return can one hit the Hitmon clan. Hitmontop goes down to it. Onix is one hit with Iron Tail. Hitmonlee goes down to Return. Hitmonchan lands a Mach Punch but also goes down to Return before Machamp is a free hit with Return. Stop! Karen time! I also made the joke about demanding to see the manager, but I figured that you'd make a comment about it if I did, begging me to stop beating the dead horse. Actually comment away anyway, something about algorithms. I get sand attacked by Umbreon, as well as hit by a few feint attacks, but take it out with Rollout and Return. Vileplume goes down to Return. Gengar avoids Iron Tail and then hits Spite, but we take it out at the second attempt. Houndoom we start a Rollout against, but she heals it. Then it burns us with Flamethrower and we miss the move before knocking it out with Thunder. Murkrow also goes down to Thunder, meaning we beat her. Of the Pokemon League, Lance is last, and I think I'm just going to keep spamming Rollout and see what happens. It goes pretty well as it happens. Gyarados goes down to 2 rollouts, only using Rain Dance, which even if we'd missed rollout, wouldn't have been bad, because we could have just then brought the Thunder to the fight. Jolt takes down 3 Dragonite without breaking a sweat rolling into them. Mind you, I imagine that would cause quite a lot of sweat, to be honest. Charizard takes 2 new rollouts but lands a Flamethrower in exchange before we knock Aerodactyl out with the same move to beat the Flying Specialist and enter the Hall of Fame. It ain't over yet though. We've got Kanto and the fights with Blue and Red ahead. Hey, once again that rhymes. Anyway, we're level 90 by the time it comes to taking on Blue, and it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes. I lose versus Blue after most of our reliable moves ever do their usual trick and miss. Thunder twice and Iron Tail once. We take Pidgeot out with the 3rd Thunder and then miss Iron Tail on Rhydon so it can lay us out with Earthquake. Great start. A second attempt goes the same way as Jolt gets knocked out by a Rhydon Earthquake from nearly full health after Iron Tail misses once again. I'm going to put a few more levels on and then come back. At level 92, we make our 3rd attempt and the Iron Tail lands on the Rhydon but fails to one-hit it, and once again it knocks us out with Earthquake. I think I've done most of the trainers in Kanto now, which is actually pretty worrying. Well, except the Cycling Road ones because I don't have the bike. I missed it in Goldenrod City. Grinding is going to be a horrible experience right now. I decided to go back through the Elite Four a few times and then make another try at level 96. Okay, so this time, Pidgeot is one hit with Thunder. Rhydon is one hit with Iron Tail. Alakazam is one hit with Return. Executor is 2 hit with Return. Arcanine offers more resistance, survive and return, but when he heals it, I lamp it with 2 rollouts before the 3rd turn of rollout takes out Gyarados. That's a relief. Final battle of the game then, and we call this one a wrap. Bring on Red. I don't know how this one will go, but I know it's probably unlikely we'll beat him. I'll make an attempt or 2, see how it goes. Not well is the answer. We can one-hit Pikachu, but Espeon doing so is beyond us, and if it uses Reflect, we're screwed for the immediate future. When we try to tackle Snorlax, Rollout misses twice and we go down. I figure, without using the same cheap strategy I used in the Hoothoot run, Double Team and Curse, I'm probably not going to win this. Espeon, Snorlax and Venusaur will probably be a bridge too far for this particular Pokemon, so I'm calling it. I don't even think going to level 100 will solve it because we're getting trashed at level 97. 3 levels isn't going to make that much of a difference. Well, this wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. Sure, there were some points where I got walled, but overall I think we did pretty well to get where we did, given how bad Pichu is. If you have sat through to this point, then thank you so very much. If you have enjoyed this, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, all that kind of thing. If you're interested, then there's a link to my Discord in the comments, where if you want to make a suggestion for further challenges, there's a section right in there. Or you can do it in the comments themselves, dealer's choice. Join me next week for another challenge, as this time we go to Pokemon Emerald and we take it on with a single Growlithe. That could be interesting. It's an unfriendly region for fire types. So until that next time, I guess that all that's left to say is, this has been Once a Future Gamer, this has been Pokemon Silver with a single Pichu, and I will see you next time. Au revoir, YouTube.